With the first season of Tokyo Revengers coming to an end, I decided to binge the entire anime not too long ago, and from start to finish, Tokyo Revengers blew away all my expectations coming into the show and got me completely hooked onto the story. Lately I've mostly been reading manga instead of watching the latest seasonal shows, but after giving Tokyo Revengers a chance, I couldn't stop watching. Every episode just kept getting better and better, and I actually found myself getting invested into the cast of characters and the futures that lie with them. There's so many things about Tokyo Revengers that interested me and pulled me into what the show had to offer, but one of the main things that caught my attention when watching the anime was that the anime manages to keep you on your toes throughout the entire season, and certain situations and scenes that the characters are in could turn to the absolute worst at any given moment, which gives this sense of imminent danger when watching the show. While certain challenges and difficulties that the characters go through seem uncomplicated from a surface level, in most situations it isn't that simple, and this is the reality of Tokyo Revengers that the author portrays. This is an aspect of the show that is done incredibly well, and in most situations we see how the protagonist Takemichi deals with this and how it affects both the past and the present for the characters. When discussing the characters, I feel that the protagonist Takemichi is a lot better than what people give him credit for, and from how the story of Tokyo Revengers is, Takemichi is designed to be an underdog character who is meant to develop into something great over time. From the first episode, Takemichi is given a second chance at life where he has a mission and a purpose to follow in which he can become a better version of himself, and from the challenges and ordeals we see him go through, he is definitely on that right path. The position he manages to reach at the end of the season was a clear indicator of this, and it will be interesting to see where his character goes from here. Along with Takemichi, the other characters are also done really well, and some of my favourites from the last season are characters like Draken, who serves as the second head of Toman, and his dynamic with Mikey was one of the main factors that made me appreciate his character. In a lot of ways, Draken was the part that Mikey lacked as a commander, and we see this through the beginning challenges Toman faces, which made him such an integral piece of the group. His arc with Takemichi was a really cool look into his character, and it was also the first important task Takemichi had to complete within the story in order to change the future for the better. Mikey is also one of the best within the show, and I think he serves his role as head of Toman really well. Throughout the story, we see him perform these crazy feats, along with his name being Invincible Mikey, which directly portrays the lengths Takemichi has to reach in order to achieve his goal of becoming the head of Toman. Baji was another character I thought brought a lot to the story, and not only was he just an overall good character, but his entire arc gave us a glimpse into the antagonist of the story, Kisaki, and how much of a threat he actually is. Ken, the author of Tokyo Revengers, does a good job in making Kisaki such a dislikable character within the show, and although we haven't seen much of who Kisaki actually is in the anime, he is definitely set to be a promising antagonist that will pose as the biggest challenge for the protagonist Takemichi in the next season, as clearly shown with the ending episode. When discussing the supporting characters such as Hina and Takemichi's friend group, I don't have much complaints about them, and I feel that they all serve their purpose well and provide different aspects within the story. Tokyo Revengers got me hooked onto the story for various reasons. However, a big factor that the anime does incredibly well with how it structures the episodes is the pacing. The pacing within Tokyo Revengers is actually really good, and I never once felt like anything was prolonged or even too short. All the major events we see happen flow together very well, and each episode has something to get excited about or interested in. Without getting into major spoilers relating to the story, around the halfway mark of the anime, the story drastically picks up, and every episode from then is filled with key events and major plot progression for our cast. For me personally, decent pacing is necessary for me to truly get invested into a story, and with Tokyo Revengers I was completely hooked. Because of the pacing Tokyo Revengers has, the story at times can become really unpredictable, which is another part of the anime that really appealed to me. Tokyo Revengers has a very easy premise to understand, and from the first couple episodes I thought I couldn't be fazed by anything the author set for the story, but as I got deeper into the season and more invested, the anime got really unpredictable. The final episode portrayed this clearly, and I think a lot of people, including myself, did not expect the story to head in that direction. We started off the ending with a big change for our protagonist that seemed as if we was approaching the final stretch of the mission. However, the cliffhanger that we was left with at the end of the episode continued to show that we are still far from it. It will be exciting to see where the story will go from season 1's ending, and because I had such an entertaining experience with Tokyo Revengers and this season, I might actually pick up the manga from here. To conclude my thoughts on the season as a whole, it definitely subverted my expectations I had going into it, and every arc provided a different feel to the story and portrayed the cast in a different light. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what's next with the series and how the characters will develop from here. If you enjoyed today's video on Tokyo Revengers, consider leaving a like and subscribing for more anime and manga content. If you have any particular anime or manga you want me to talk about, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.